Do you know what legacy means?
It's what you pass down to your children and your children's children. It's what remains of you when you're gone.
Welcome back to the Legacy of Westeros, your one-stop shop for all things Westeros. Please take a moment to like, comment, subscribe, and set notifications to all in order to keep up to date with all the content we have coming. And we are doing full-time content for the first time on this channel, so even once House of the Dragon Season 2 passes, we're going nowhere. So stay tuned for that. And here's our multiple choice question for this video. Do you think Otto Hightower will live to see Season 3 of House of the Dragon? Yes? Yes, with dignity. No, bring me his head, or it could really go either way. Let us know in the comments section below. Kristen Cole gets named Hand of the King, but more importantly, I want to kind of spread, pull back the lens here and look at a wider picture and focus in on Otto Hightower now. And I think that it's fair to say, this is subjective, it is my opinion. Our viewers might not agree with me. You guys might not agree with me. But for me, Otto Hightower is, the driving force behind the throne being usurped. He was the driving force for wanting to get, honestly, hoping Viserys would die even quicker and moving on to Aegon and supplanting Aegon as the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms, or is it 6 at this point? I've lost my train of thought here. I just got a couple of messages, but Otto Hightower gets fired as the Hand of the King in Season 1 when he tries to throw Rhaenyra under the bus. Otto Hightower has just been fired again as Hand of the King. And the amazing thing about this is Rhys Ifans, who plays the character, again, I think Otto's a piece of shit personally. And yet in this scene that we're looking at, I thought he nailed every single point that he had. And it, there's an old saying, be careful what you wish for. And for me, he's living that at the moment. He wanted Aegon, and I think he's realizing, oh, fuck, what have I done? And to a point where Aegon's he mentions Viserys wanted him as king, and Otto's like, oh, is that what you think? Is that how you think it went down? And it's kind of like a wink and nod at the camera, almost like breaking the fourth wall, going, hey, I don't care what my daughter said. I know Viserys did not want this guy to be king. And, he's now been ousted and seemingly looks set to leave King's Landing. And yet I thought every point he made in the scene could not have been more spot on. And one of my favorite moments is, I think I have a screenshot of it here. Yeah. Where he turns and he's like, and what is it that Sir Kristen did? And he's like, he's surrounded by idiots. He has that look at you've had to be at some point in your life in a room where you're listening to other people talk and you're going, why the hell am I stuck here at the moment? Please, for the love of God, get me out of here. And I also think there's some remorse on his behalf where he's legitimately owning up to, Viserys is gone and we're the poorer for it. And we would all be better off if he was still here. Your guys' thoughts on this scene? Because I know a lot of people thought the Rhaenyra Daemon scene was the best scene in episode 2. I thought this scene was the best scene in episode 2. Randy, take it away. Your thoughts on this entire interaction.
So all I'm going to say is up until this point, in terms of Team Green, I was going to go Aegon heavy for the MVP. And then this scene happened. And Otto just said everything we've probably ever thought when it comes to Aegon becoming king. He said everything that needed to be said. And for as much as I dislike the character, for as much as I don't even wish good tidings to this motherfucker, I actually felt bad for him. It was for the first time where I actually was like on his side, agreeing with him, and a lot of it, and I get a lot of it has to do with the fact that Aegon is still grieving. He had, Cole being, being a douche and deciding to take action without being asked to, just because he felt guilty. And it's just like, misery loves company, apparently, in this respect. But ultimately, Otto said all the right things. He was justified in saying everything he said. And look where it got him. And, ultimately he is right. They were better off, with Viserys still being around. And at this point, I don't know. I feel bad for him that he's essentially gets demoted, fired, whatever you want to call it. But then also, I don't blame him for not wanting to stay there. How could he even emotionally stay there with the losses he's suffered over the years, whether it's losing the hand the first time and then losing it this time, but also family members and friends, and now he's got to sit there and he's going to rely on Alicent to kind of keep things going, but ultimately he has been the driving force to put Aegon on the throne, and clearly now he regrets ever doing that. And this one scene, it all comes out, and it was done brilliantly. A lot of the camera angles they used were great. The facial expressions, like the sincerity in his eyes with everything he was saying, and just he commanded the room. Like you couldn't help but focus on him. That's how powerful of what he was saying. The acting job that Rhys did here was amazing. And I feel bad that now we're going to get to see just how inept and how much things are probably going to get screwed up now because of Cole being the hand. It sucks, but this could be the one thing that kind of hurts Team Green the most.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say this. It really took a special kind of stupid to make me feel sympathy for Otto Hightower, because I have no sympathy for Otto Hightower. But in this moment, in this scene, I couldn't help but feel for him, because everything he had worked for years, all of and I will say this, I disagree with you on this front, Randy. I do not feel bad for him. He can go crawl into a hole and disappear for all I care, because he's been pulling the strings. He has manipulated. He has sacrificed friends. He has sacrificed family. He compartmentalized his own grandson's beheading to trot a corpse down Main Street for political prowess. Like, he doesn't care. He's a sociopath. But in this moment, just being surrounded by Aegon and and just the way he's like, yeah, we'll send a twin in to kill Rhaenyra. Brilliant. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, now, this is one moment where I want to harken back to the original show, and I really wish he pulled a Tywin Lannister and he just walked right up to him and bitch slapped Aegon the way Tywin would have bitch slapped, Joffrey, because he needed it in this moment to be just knocked straight, because, it's the, again, I don't feel bad for him, because he wanted this. This is what he strove for. This is what his end goal was. Now, I'm curious what his true end goal was now that, once he got Aegon on the throne. But there was definitely that moment where he realized that he could not manipulate Aegon the way he probably thought he could, and realized he fucked up. that this was not the right decision to put Aegon on the throne, or he certainly wasn't ready for the throne. So where Otto goes from here, I don't know. My guess is he's going to go back and continue to manipulate and continue to, come up with plans and schemes, and we'll for sure haven't seen the last of them. But this is, I think, a pivotal moment before this war ever starts. That, while I think Team Black was very broken and damaged by the outcome of this episode, this is, I think, the turning point where Team Green is not going to make some good decisions going forward, and they're going to give up what advantages they've created.
I just think Otto nailed it on every level in this scene. I thought Rhys Ifans nailed it on every level in this scene. But I'm with you, Ryan. I don't feel bad for what he's lost, even though I think he's right in this scene. He was the maker of his own demise. And I guess my final question on Otto before we move on would be, do you think he will ever return to a position of, maybe not Hand of the King, but a position of power again with Team Green? We'll start with Randy and go to Ryan.
As far as Team Green goes, I don't think it's going to happen. I feel like he's too much. He's had too much to where Aegon's going to be like, yeah, no, it's never happening. Where he goes, if he goes back home or goes, from here, chances are that's probably where he's going to stay. He might be able to pull some strings from there in the shadows, but no, he's definitely not going to end up holding a seat of power with Team Green ever again.
I think he will hold power again. I think he's enough of a snake, enough of a manipulator, somebody that definitely has support within the Red Keep, that he has followers. I do think he will be able to work through the back channels, do some conniving, do some deals, maybe go make right by going and basically negotiating with another house. I don't really know, but I can't see this being the end for Otto Hightower. While this was a defeat in the moment, I just don't think Otto's done. I think there was more to play there.
It's very interesting that two characters that utterly hate each other in Daemon and Otto find themselves kind of on the outs of their respective teams, at least for the moment. The question is, what do all you, think of Otto Hightower?
Do you know what legacy means?
It's what you pass down to your children and your children's children. It's what remains of you when you're gone.